Well, hello. My name is Brianna McWilliam, and I am very excited to welcome Julia here, who has graciously offered to share her experience of my course, Hungry Love. Welcome, Julia.
Hello. Thank you for
So,
having
yes, absolutely. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and I invite you just to respond with your experience.
me. Sure.
So the first question I have is, what drew you to the course in the first place?
So I had been through a divorce 3 years ago, and I was married for 22 years. So I was having to learn how to do this thing we called life on my own for the first time. And I was finding that I was drawing in men who, I thought maybe were trying to help me and protect me and rescue me, but really they were needing to be rescued. And then it would just kind of become this mess. And in all honesty, like it became kind of scary at times. And I felt very vulnerable. I had a job change at the time. My daughter was having issues. And I was like at that, that cusp of just like, okay, I'm either going to rebuild my life and figure this out, or I'm just going to become a powerless victim. So that's when I saw this course. I said, it's time.
And what would you say are 2 to 3 things that you gained from the course?
Well, first and foremost, I finally understood why I was attracting partners. I honestly, I think I read the book Attached like right before I saw Hungry Love. And so that like tied in. But honestly, at that time, I was so stressed out. I couldn't even do EMDR or any kind of trauma work because I didn't even have the understanding yet. So to understand, okay, here's anxious attachment. I'd start watching your videos. That was huge just to understand the difference. And then to notice, oh, here's the theme with the partners I attract. Mm-hmm. And then I could start understanding what's going on. And so that was huge because then I have a place to start looking at boundaries. I didn't even know what my boundaries were. I'd meet someone and, they'd seem nice and all this. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll go out on a date, So I was learning my values, what I want, what I need. Those are things, I never even considered, honestly. So those were major, major things that I grew from, through going through this course.
Yeah, I'm so happy that was your experience. I just have 2 more questions for you. The next one is in terms of like the curriculum or the content that you were consuming, is there any particular thing that stands out as like your favorite sort of activity to do?
Yeah. So I love the focus wheels. And I think I was always asking you, can you give me an example? Can you give me an example? Which of course gives so many examples and really dives into it. Because, obviously when you're going through pain and trauma and heartache and all that stuff, the mindset's everything. And so I was finding that, and it's hard work and it can be exhausting at times. And to have that like reframe and a new way to think about a situation, you could just feel the energy shift, and that gives you that momentum to keep going. So I love the focus wheels and also the body activation, because I'm like a chronic overanalyzer of all things. That's what's kept me safe much of my life, was just overthinking and dissecting things in my brain. And I was sort of disembodied in a sense. So for her to like bring in, because I'd done a lot of therapy in the past, but to bring in the art-based like experientials and the body activation, it just brought that healing into a whole different level where my felt experience is actually different. And I don't know any other way, because the rest didn't go to that level of depth where my actual experience of security in my own body changed.
I'm so glad that was your experience. Then my last question would just be, would you recommend the course? And if so, do you have any advice for someone considering participating?
Buckle up. Yes, I would absolutely recommend it. Honestly, I will admit to being a course junkie, and I have taken so many over the past 20 years, really. This one I feel like brings together all of the things, because again, it's not just information, but it's the body activation, it's the experientials. And it is robust information. It's really the whole body of her work all combined into one course. And it is phenomenal. It is rich. And I would say that my advice would be, if you're going to do this, go all in. You won't be able to do it overnight. Take your time, pace the way you need to pace, even if you feel like you need to be going faster. I just dive in and be ready to be all in and give it your all. So it will be worth it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your testimonial. And I'm so glad that that was your experience.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for, sharing your work with us. Really appreciate it.